Number 1, URDEX uses Hardhat for development and deployment. Configuration is found in the hardhat.config.js, which supports the following: a local development network, that's Hardhat, Sepolia testnet deployment, this Solidity version, and a custom artifact path for front-end integration, which really adds to security. So let's actually go look at that right here at the hardhat config.js. So you see we're pulling in what we need from the Nomic Labs and Nomic Foundation for Hardhat and Ethers. Okay, here we have our Solidity version. You see our artifact path. Okay, and then we get into our networks. Here we're set up for Hardhat. Okay, and I've found in my own development that this interval added to the mining just helped me avoid certain blockchain timing issues. And then here is Sepolia. And then finally, we're pulling the Etherscan API key from the .env file. And I just want to talk about that for a minute, because a big part of setting up for Sepolia will be filling out this .env file. And the reason I want to just broach the topic early is that you won't see it in your in the GitHub repository because it's private. Okay, and I have, rather than showing mine, I'm just made a little placeholder version. We're going to be making a .env that's going to have our Alchemy Sepolia URL, the private key to your deployer account, okay, or your wallet, and Etherscan API key. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But just to tie it all together, that's where we see it here coming together in the exports of the Hardhat config.js. Okay. Number 2, installation. A couple of important notes before starting. When running, the terminal commands do not include any backticks or containing brackets. Here's an example of the containing brackets. They're just meant to highlight where to have the information, okay? Secondly, due to different development environments and operating systems, you may need to research some steps for your particular setup. Always remember that the point is to achieve the goal outlined. So just keep that in mind. Step-by-step installation. Open your terminal and let's clone the repository. Just going to copy this here. Okay, and I'm just going to do a right arrow right there because I don't want to push enter yet. Why? Because look at those containing brackets. Plus we need to name it. Okay, so we're just erasing that part. We have our nice git clone, that's our command, and then the information for the command. And now what do you want to name it? I think I'm going to name mine xdex, as in example dex. Okay, I'm going to push enter. And just like that, we've cloned URDEX. Step-by-step installation number 3. It's time to cd or change directory into your project root, okay? So you can copy, or it might be better just to type cd and then the name you chose. In my case, it is xdex. Your terminal should look something like you at your computer and then the name you chose followed by the %sign. And let's look at mine as an example. I'm just going to make it a little bigger. Sure enough, xdex %. See? And so across the board, that's going to be a way to know that you are in your project root. It's very helpful. Okay. Step-by-step installation number 4. Remove git origin to keep your repository clean. And so let's just copy this. What we're doing when we run this in the terminal, I'm just going to paste it there and push enter. Not much will happen, but what's going on behind the scenes is that it's becoming detached from my repository, so that your git commits going forward are just it just keeps everything much cleaner. Okay, so it's no longer connected to the URDEX repository URL. Well done. Step-by-step installation, step number 5. Install dependencies. Let's copy that. Open our terminal. Just do a little click to make sure I'm in that terminal field. Paste. And push enter. Going to see some action, some downloading taking place. We're going to ignore these deprecation warnings and just proceed. Well done. You've done your npm install. Step-by-step installation, step 6. Open the project in your text editor. Here's a case where there may be different ways different people get in text editors, and there's many different text editors. Any text editor will do. I use Sublime Text. And just like that, I see the project open. I see my contracts, pretty much everything other than that .env file, okay? We are good to go. Now for the final step in the step-by-step installation, step number 7, we need to create a .env file in our root directory and then paste this content in. So let's just go ahead and copy that so we'll know that it's copied, okay? That is on our clipboard. And here again is a case where you just put a file in the way that you do, right in the root directory. And what that means is I'm looking right at xdex and that percentage sign in my case. And for me, I'm just going to go touch.env. And that is going to produce a little file that we'll go look at right now. See it right there. Okay? So push pause as you need to, but get to where I am. And I'm remembering that on the clipboard we have that information. I'm going to paste that now. Just like that. A couple of spaces. And then save. So what are we looking at here? We're going to be putting in a URL and 2 keys. And so right now we have just placeholder text where we will later and very soon be setting up for Sepolia deployment. A big part of being ready to be on Sepolia after you've done your development and perhaps expanded on or improved this DApp, this .env will play a key part in providing that information. Well done. We have completed the step-by-step installation. It's now time to move on to big number 3, prerequisites.